Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone. JLR Investigates. Come on in. We're going to talk about a case out of the panhandle of Oklahoma, rural Oklahoma, near the Kansas line, near the Colorado borderline, almost near the New Mexico borderline. Veronica Butler Jilian Kelley. We're talking about two individuals. It's been about 2 weeks now, and these individuals vanished off the face of the earth. Authorities think there's foul play involved. The vehicle they were driving was found. Looks like there was a busted out window on the side of a rural road, really remote out there. I'm considering going out there to show you all, the public, what's going on. We got a lot of people in the chat. Let's talk about the case of Veronica Butler and Jilian Kelley. Still a mystery, no arrests yet. And these two individuals have not been found. The Oklahoma Bureau of Investigation is investigating this case along with numerous county agencies. This is a multi-jurisdictional issue, folks, because these two individuals on March 30th started out in the town in Kansas called Hugoton, and were working their way down to Oklahoma to meet the mother or the grandmother of her children. She had some children, and they were going to go pick up some children. It was near a school, that there was a supposed meeting spot near a school. Now, I'm trying to get educated as possible on this because it's a lot of drama in this case. And it's dealing with Veronica Butler. Jilian Kelley is the wife of a pastor. And she was like a chaperone. She was like a chaperone to Veronica Butler, according to court documents. And there was some sort of custody going on with Veronica Butler's children with we'll say the grandmother or the mother to an individual name, and this is a wild name too. I wrote this down because this name I'm about to say is as Oklahoma as you can get. Wrangler Cole Rickman. Wrangler Cole Rickman. And Wrangler Cole Rickman had children with Veronica. And Wrangler Cole is now in a rehab. He had a gun charge. And since I've seen November, they've had a messy court battle between them. And it was enough for Wrangler's mother. Her name is Tifany Adams. Tifany Adams. To intervene and try to get custody of these children. That's what it looks like to me. But the courts agreed to an agreement where Tifany Adams would meet Veronica at a trading post, at like an old abandoned store in between Hugoton, Kansas, and where she lived in rural West Oklahoma. It's a wild case, and it needs to be talked about because the bodies of these two individuals are not found. Actually, I'm looking. Tifany Adams lives in Keys, Oklahoma. And I'm going to show you the map and just how rural this place is. Now, the only news network that I see that's actually talking about this case is News Nation. And News Nation has been out there. And, we've been covering Sebastian Rogers. But my mind is like, dude, I got to get out there just to show the area. According to Laura Engel, who does great reporting, she's boots on the ground there. She's boots on the ground. And she actually went to key locations. We're talking about Highway 95 and Road L. And off the road, vehicle was found 1,000 feet off the road. This is a wild case, folks. And, we've gotten some tips. We got some tips about participants, possible suspects. And the way we're hearing it is, and kind of Laura Engel kind of validates this with the locals, and no one around there even wants to talk. No one wants to say a word about this, man. And I'm kind of getting the idea based off that and the tips that we got that people are afraid, literally afraid of the possible people involved here. I'm hearing like the parties and participants or that community in Western Oklahoma are really like anti-government, sovereign citizen movements, off the grid, don't want any involvement whatsoever with any authorities, and, hate police. It's what I'm hearing. I don't know if you guys are hearing the same thing, but it is as rural as can be. This case needs to be talked about. Let's try to get an understanding and bring awareness to this. Again, Laura Ingle with News Nation has done reports there. She follows me on Twitter, by the way. She does great reporting. Taking you to the scene in Texas County, Oklahoma. So it's Texas County. This is where the pickup spot where Veronica Butler and Jilian Kelley were supposed to have a supervised meetup with Butler's 2 children and guardian. The guardian, I believe, would be Tifany Adams. And we're going to talk about her in a minute. They never made it. You can see how rural this area is where the abandoned gas station is. They were supposed to meet at a trading post type gas station.
And we are in Texas County, Oklahoma. We just pulled off of the road on 412. Right here, I wanted to show you the Four Corners Grocery and Service Station. This is the location where Veronica Butler and Jilian Kelley were supposed to have a meetup to meet her children for a custodial pickup, but they never made it to this location. And it's right down that road, North 95, where we're going to take you next. And that is where her vehicle was found abandoned on March 3rd.
That's wild. Now, they lived in Hugoton or from Hugoton. They, on the morning of Saturday the 30th, they go out. And they're supposed to meet at that kind of like an old abandoned gas station to meet the custodian guardian, which I believe is this Tifany Adams, which is Wrangler Cole Rickman's mother. I'm also hearing some wild stories about some serious criminal history on that side of the family. A lot of criminal history on that side of the family. So what it was Laura found the spot. We spotted this white cross on Road L in Texas County, Oklahoma, off of Highway 95, where the vehicle of Veronica Butler and Jilian Kelley was found abandoned with signs of foul play, according to the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation. They got, all these states have this Bureau of Investigation. This is off of the highway, a good 1,000 feet. Why was the SUV so far off the main road? Great question. They're saying they never did the meetup. Let me give you guys, again, News Nation seems like the only ones on this case. I seen the Oklahoman, the local newspaper, but I don't see any other national media on this. And I'm shocked. 2 weeks into it, these 2 individuals have not been found, suspected foul play, and authorities are zip. And around that area is so remote, there's pig farms, it's like cattle land. It's I don't even know if I want to call it the Wild West. But let me just show you how wild and crazy this area is. So this is the map of the United States. And we're talking, here's the map, the wonderful United States of America. We love the United States. Here is Oklahoma. The situation is way out here. It's literally 5 hours from Denver, 5 hours from Oklahoma City, and 5 hours from Albuquerque, New Mexico. It is as rural as you can get. Now let's zoom in. This right here is where these 2 women on the morning of Saturday, right, the 30th of March, went on a 45-mile drive to go down in this area, just south of Eckhart, Oklahoma. So they're in Kansas. They're in Kansas, folks. And they drive about a 45-minute drive to 95, which is south of Eckhart. Now, the custodial individual that was having the two children that they were going to pick up lives in Keys, Oklahoma, all rural in the panhandle. And they were all going to meet in the morning around here. And let's zoom in some more. This is Highway 95. This is Highway 95 south of Elkhart. And it seems like the situation, it's hard to get an idea where it is because you really got to zoom in. You really got to zoom in here. But they got these like roads, like Road B, Road C, Road D, Road E, Road F, G, H. And it keeps going down and down, and it eventually gets to Road L. And we're going to get to Road L, and it's near a town called Eva. And this is where their car was found. It was found not at the service station where they're going to meet, but off of Road L in this general area here. A little bit off the road. I'm unsure if it's actually west or east. I'll try to get more information about that. But here you go. Here you go, folks. This is as remote as can be. And this is what the area, you see these type of, it's farmland. It's nothing but farmland. It's nothing but farmland. So much farmland that no one really has an idea of what the area looks like unless you go there, because they got nothing to indicate what the terrain looks like. So this is wild. Also, folks, and we're not pointing fingers on JLR Investigates because we don't have any information. All we know is that a pastor's wife, who was a chaperone in the situation because Veronica was involved with a legal battle over children. And apparently, folks, Veronica was about to get custody of these children because the father went to rehab. He had a criminal case. He had a felon in possession of a firearm. So she was meeting up with her children in an exchange. But apparently that exchange never happened. Or did it happen? I don't know. Now, in fairness, remote area, there could be truckers out there. There could be human traffickers out there. There could be a bad actor out there that has nothing to do and just victimized someone. But you're talking two females. Now, we see all the time where bad things happen to females, right? Female goes jogging, some creep, some pervert, whatever, snatches them up. We hear about a lone female coming out of a store, gets snatched up. Female walking their animal, gets snatched up. But we're talking about two females that just vanished. Two. Makes me like, what in the world is going on here? Two females. Remote as can be. Somebody, Magnolia, answer the question if you know. Somebody asked, were their phones found in the car? It's a great question. There's some information I don't know about this. So let's listen to Ashley Banfield with Laura. They're talking about this case. They came out a few days ago. And let's try to get more information and more understanding and spread the word on JLR Investigates. So people said, human trafficking, family. Who is this Wrangler Cole Rickman? Everyone was like, did he really go to rehab? I think he did. He had some sort of legal problems. Magnolia says, Tifany Adams, the grandmother, has been working overtime to keep, let's go back. Working overtime to keep those kids away from Veronica and her own son, Wrangler, which is interesting because if you read the court documents, folks, And I briefly read through some. Now they're sealed. They don't want anyone to read these court documents anymore. They sealed the case. But I did read like parts. And apparently, Tifany Adams, who I'll show you who she is shortly, she didn't even want the kids with Veronica. She didn't even want the kids with Wrangler, because Wrangler has an addiction problem. That's why he's in rehab. He wasn't fit to be a father. Let's get some more information, folks. Let's share the information on JLR Investigates of what's being reported. Let's try to get an understanding here.
You're in a very rural area. It's very dark. It's very desolate. And suddenly you found yourself followed. Did I get any of that wrong? And take me from there.
So we started off our day in Oklahoma City, where we went to the OSBI, and we've been making our way slowly to the area where the women's SUV was found. And we know that they were supposed to meet up at this abandoned gas station, the Four Corners, which we went to, and we checked that out. And then we took this right on Highway 95 to see if we could just quickly find the spot where the women's SUV was located, Road L and Highway 95. We turned off and we looked around, and we really, we've been reporting on it, and we knew as our team put a safety plan in place together for ourselves, saying, let's all watch each other's backs. Let's share our location with other people. We got to this location and I filmed it. You can see it right there. Road L is actually off of 95, a bit more than we expected it to be. Now, exactly where the car was is between that area and where this cross was found. We found this white cross with yellow ribbon. The women's names are on that cross. Who placed it there, we don't know. But our plan was to show this to you, to film it and get out of there. And when we went to turn around to go back down this long dirt path, Road L, this big black truck with tinted windows pulled up and seemingly looked like it was going to start to block us. And our plan all along was, if we see somebody coming down the road, let's all get in the car and get out of here, which is exactly what we did, driving back towards the gas station and getting back over here to a well-lit area so we could report to you tonight. But the point was to show you where the SUV was found. There has been no information about what has happened to these women. We have been pressing the OSBI for days now, for over a week. We don't have any answers. We know that nobody's talking. And Ashley, you and I have been doing these missing person cases for a really long time. And whenever I arrive to a scene like this, I usually see a grid search. I see canine units. We see a command post. We see the types of things that we're used to, but there is nothing. There is no sign of a search going on right now where we are in Oklahoma.
So this is why I was distrusted. Can I just ask our control room to roll that video that they were just showing as Laura was showing us that location that now all of a sudden that the cross has shown up in that spot where the women disappeared. Laura, there was a truck on the left-hand side of the screen. Is that the black truck that you were referring to, or was it another black truck?
No. It was another black truck. What you see there on the screen is we have vehicles that belong to us, and it was further down the road. So it was right where the highway and the road met, and this truck kind of pulled in. Now, were we near somebody's private property? We might have been. I'm from California, and so a lot of these roads lead to, vineyards. But we have described, and we took some drone video today as well. But yeah, you can see that cross. It has their names on it. Who placed it there? It looks like this is the spot where the SUV was found. The drone footage that we took earlier, we specifically did to show everybody just how rural this area is. You've been hearing us talk about it. You've been hearing Brooke Schaefer mention it as well. But we wanted to get up and out and show you that as far as the eye can see, there's a lot of terrain to get to. It's a lot of farmland. There are some pig farms that are nearby, which are easy to spot and smell as you're driving down the road. But as far as the location, the gas station that's right behind me does have a flyer from the OSBI with the women's faces on it, Veronica and Jilian. We walked in and we talked to the gas station attendant, a young lady, and we asked her how she was working there alone. We said, how are you feeling? What are you doing? And she said, well, I'm nervous. We just don't know what's going on. I'm checking in with my family, and they're calling to ask me if I'm okay because I'm sitting here at this cash register alone, and you can't blame her.
There was a picture that your drone video caught just a bit ago, and it looked like maybe that was one of the industrial pig farms that you were talking about. Is that one of those facilities? Because I have to be honest with you, In the absence of any information from authorities, there's all sorts of crazy rumors about pig farms and how they might be involved in all of this. I mean, the rumor mill is on overdrive.
It is. And that is right down the road. In fact, that industrial pig farm is between the location where the SUV was found and the gas station where the women were supposed to have that supervised meetup to have Veronica's children handed off. And I also want to mention something that's really important here. 10 days before Veronica Butler and her friend went missing, there was a court filing. I printed it out. I read it on the plane right here. It is filed on March 20th, 10 days before. This was a bitter custody battle. Was it involved in this? We don't know. And I also want to mention that I've been talking to a private investigator not involved in this case, but knows the area well. And she said that there's a lot of human trafficking that goes on here. There's a lot of, because it is so rural, there are other things that happen. So while people are focusing on family matters and the bitter custody battle that was going on, there are other items to consider. Of course, the trucking industry, that we've got truckers up and down. You know, we just don't know. The OSBI is not telling us what's going on. We thought we might get an update from them today. They told me over the weekend, if there's not an update over the weekend, we'll talk to you on Monday. Well, here it is. And we don't have an update from them, not an official one, other than them telling us that they're really busy.
Wow. Great reporting by Laura. Great reporting, right? She's boots on the ground. She's giving us an assessment on the area of what she said. Black truck kind of comes up to them. Was it a local? Was it someone connected to the case? Was it someone trying to intimidate anyone reporting on the case? I'm told like the big pickup truck type of people, you know, those type of things are around that area, right? This is where basically is, if you're out there and something happens to you and you have a flat tire or your phone service goes out or your car breaks down, you're going to be out on your own for a while before someone comes and sees you. So if someone had bad intentions on these two girls that were going to pick up the children, maybe they were waiting for them and ambushed them. Maybe they lured them off the road, off highway or road L, right off of 95, these letter roads. It goes from A on the top of the border all the way down, and it was off of L road where their vehicle was found. Maybe somebody was lurking in the bushes and waiting. Or could it have been just a random opportunity where these girls were out there? Maybe they pulled over and some weirdo, some strange person, guy or girl, maybe both, did something to these individuals. Authorities said they're suspecting foul play. They said there's evidence of foul play. But you heard from Lauren, they're not even doing grid searches in the area. And the way I'm hearing it, from the time they were supposed to be there to the time the vehicle was found by authorities, because apparently the pastors, or the Jilian's husband, who was a pastor, went out there to look for him. And when they got there, authorities were already there. It wasn't that much time. So it just makes me wonder, like, what could you do with two people so quickly? Were they thrown in a vehicle? You take the drones up in the sky and you look around. It's flat land. It looks like it's flat land out there. But are we getting into a situation, too, where, and I'm just trying to think comparisons. Remember when Dylan Rounds went missing? It was like a needle in the haystack when you get to situations like rural areas. Utah, rural. They never even found Dylan until the person that did it, Brenner, led authorities to what happened. Well, look at this area. This is the area. This is what it looks like. I'm sorry, but there's no footage out there. You saw some of her footage of what the terrain really looks like. But this is it on Google Maps. This is it. This is the area. And there's nothing out there. It's in the panhandle. It's literally right across from the Kansas border. And it's also right near the Colorado border. Here's Colorado. The area where this happened is somewhere around here in that slither of panhandle. I have no idea if cell service works out there. I'm suspecting if you have a certain carrier, you might not even have cell phone service. right? Cell phone services out there look as remote as possible. I think if we go out there and JLR investigates, I don't even think we'll have the opportunity to even live stream. This would be more making videos. What happened here with Veronica and Jilian? Now, I want to show you this Cole Wrangler guy. This is the guy Veronica had a child with right here. Wrangler Cole Rickman. So he seems like he's had a lot of legal problems, Mr. Rickman. And he entered rehab. He was actually in rehab and in custody, in treatment rehab when this occurred. Because a lot of people have been throwing his name out there. He did it or something, but it seems like he has an alibi. That's what it seems like, unless, he could have snuck out the window. I doubt that, and I think authorities don't believe he, per se, did it himself. But did he order something? Or did he talk to some other people? What kind of connections do these people have? Or are they not involved whatsoever? Because this individual here is Tifany Adams. And Tifany Adams here is Wrangler Cole Rickman's mom. And Tifany Adams here is the one that had the children, apparently. And she lived in Keys, Oklahoma. And she was going to go out there and meet Veronica and Jilian. I feel so bad. Here's what I feel so bad about. I feel bad about the whole situation in general. It sucks. Always custody battles and always these bad things end up happening. But I can't imagine, what Jillian's family is going through. Because Jilian, her husband's a pastor. And all she was like she was like a chaperone. She was a chaperone to Veronica. Veronica had the children. And in court documents, it looks like Veronica listed Jilian and a few others as kind of like a chaperone. So she's just going there out of the kindness of her heart, maybe the Christian thing to do, and she gets involved. Now, somebody asked the question, is the pastor involved? Do you think, I personally think, I don't know who's involved and who's not. I don't know who's been questioned and who's not, tight-lipped. But I'm thinking of the probability that she was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. And everyone on her end had nothing to do with this. I personally think that it's something on this end, on Veronica, and between Veronica and the grandmother of Wrangler Cole Rickman. That's my opinion. You guys might have your own. Share it. Lack of information leads to speculation when it comes to this case. Lack of information leads to speculation, and all we could do is speculate and bring awareness, because the truth is they're still missing. Now, News Nation put out a report yesterday, and here's what they say, what we know. 2 missing Kansas moms in Oklahoma. What we know, the 2 women were last seen March 30th. 1 woman was part of a bitter custody battle. The car was found 3 miles from its destination. As the investigation continues into the disappearance of 2 Kansas women who vanished along an Oklahoma highway last month, the police keep looking for clues into possible foul play. Police have announced that Veronica Butler and Jilian Kelley of Hugoton, Kansas disappeared after their car was found 1,000 feet off an Oklahoma highway 95 along a dirt path on March 30th. Who are the missing moms? Veronica Butler and Jilian Kelley. Butler, 27, is 5'4", with red hair and green eyes. 5'4", red hair, green eyes, right here. She was last seen wearing a blue short-sleeve shirt, denim shorts, and Hey Dude shoes. Hey Dude shoes. I never even heard of them. Police say Butler has a butterfly tattoo on her left forearm. Butterfly tattoo. Remember that, folks. Kelley, 39. So Butler's 27. She's 39. She's older. Has brown hair and blue eyes. She was last seen wearing a long sleeve shirt, whitewashed blue jeans, and either a tan or beige shoes. Oklahoma Highway Patrol said Kelley has several tattoos, including a Chinese symbol on her left forearm and a sunflower on her left shoulder. So Chinese symbol on her left forearm and a sunflower on her left shoulder. Butler's family has told police the two women were traveling together to Eva, Oklahoma, to pick up Butler's two children. News Nation has learned Butler's children may be living with the mother of the father of her children, who is currently watching the kids. And that would be most likely Tifany Adams, I'm told. Tifany Adams, the woman that we showed you. Police have described the two women as more acquaintances than friends. News Nation reported this week that Kelley was the supervisor of the childhood visits for Butler. So she's just the supervisor. It's not really their friends. She's just the supervisor listed in court documents as a, when in the courts always wanted an additional supervisor. Sometimes when there's allegations being thrown back and forth between parties and when it comes to visitations, they have a designated supervisor. And it seems like that's what Jilian's role is with this case. Family members who have been asked to postpone media interviews until the police tell them otherwise say the two women were involved in their community and their churches. Where was the woman's missing car found? The car that the two women were traveling in was found in a vast open area near Yarborough School, from which Butler graduated in 2015. Despite investigators believing foul play could be involved in the woman's disappearance, there are no visible signs of an active, large-scale search. No grid searches, no canine units, no police command center are in place. Butler's family say the two were traveling together to Eva to pick up Butler's two children. News Nation has learned Butler's children may be living with the mother of the father of her children, who is currently watching the kids. That's because Wrangler Cole Rickman is incarcerated or in rehab. And in treatment rehab because of legal problems. News Nation reported this week that the car was found just 3 miles from its intended destination. The meetup with the children's grandmother was set to take place at an abandoned gas station in a section of Oklahoma called Four Corners, but the women never arrived. The drive from Hugoton to the meetup spot in Eva is about 45 minutes away. 45 minutes away. The latest details in the missing Kansas mom's case. News Nation reported Tuesday that Kelley was the supervisor of the childhood visits for Butler. The two women were in a part of Oklahoma to meet up with the guardian for Butler's children, who are 6 and 8. So the children are 6 and 8 years old. I'm just not going to show their photos, but they're 6 and 8 years old. The visit was a designated court approval visitation that takes place every Saturday. 4 people, including Kelley, have been listed as approved supervisors. Butler's fiance was the one who became worried and started looking for the vehicle. News Nation Laurel Engel reported. Investigators and family members have not indicated whether the grandmother, who is the current custody of the children, showed up at the gas station March 30th. And that's an interesting question. Did she actually show? And we're talking about Tifany Adams with the children. News Nation previously reported that Butler and the father of her children were embroiled in a bitter custody battle, and that just 10 days before the women went missing, Butler had filed a petition in court for more visitation with her children and was seeking full custody. And now that's the interesting aspect of this case. The court filing said things had not been going well between Butler and the children's grandmother. So because of Wrangler Cole Rickman, him and his rehab, Veronica Butler apparently was trying to get the full custody of those children from Wrangler Cole Rickman's mother, who had, I guess, temporary custody in the meantime. I just wonder if this is the motive here. This is the angle of what happened. Authorities are tight-lipped. So they travel 45 miles, again, to recap. They travel 45 miles from Hugoton, Kansas to meet at a Four Corners abandoned gas station. Rickman's mom apparently had the 2 kids, and she was going to bring them on arranged court order visitations on Saturday. Did the grandmother actually go or not? Man, we should go out there. We should go out there and bring awareness to this case. Tifany Adams. Tifany Adams. What's going on here? Has she cooperated with authorities? Has she been interviewed by authorities? You would think yes. But here's the question. Are authorities scared of that family? The Adams family. Dun, 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 dun. The Tifany Adams family. Dun, 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 dun. Are authorities afraid? And the reason why I say that, folks, is because there's the rumor mill spreading around that this family is dangerous. And when I say dangerous, we're talking sovereign citizen, secured party, UCC. I don't know if you guys ever heard about the sovereign citizen movement. If you haven't, I strongly recommend you look them up. Because the tips that we got from multiple people said this family is part of that, I want to call it sovereign citizen, maybe Christian identity. It's just a part of a thing is, oh, we don't have to get titleization and, everything is, the United States is a corporation and the Federal Reserve is a private corporation and we don't have to pay taxes and we don't have to do this and that and other. It's a dangerous philosophy. Actually reminds me of the Timothy McVeigh, Oklahoma, Elohim City people, right? I'm not saying the people are bad. I'm just saying the people are definitely anti-government cult-ish like. Personally, there's no secret that I was in federal prison, 2 decades ago. I've actually corresponded and associated with those type of people. The people that I associated with were the known as the Montana Freemen. They're the ones out of Jordan, Montana that tried to create their own area called Just Us Township. And they're known as paper terrorists. They're known as ones that put liens and file UCC filings over everyone. They're the ones that stand in court and say, you don't have jurisdiction over me. And, I don't know if you guys ever heard of those type of people. But it seems like Rickman's family is part of that. That's the tips I'm getting. I could be 100% wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But is there that type of element to the situation? Apparently, Tifany Adams, according to her LinkedIn, owns a pest control company. Tifany Adams, Adams Farming, Carrot Top Weed and Pest Control. Or was Tifany generally concerned that those children would be in harm's way being in Veronica's hands? I'm trying to put myself in everyone's shoes here and how they're thinking in this situation. The anonymous tip I got an anonymous tip. I live in this area. TA and her boyfriend have planted bombs and booby traps around the borders of their properties and wave firearms like a flag at anyone and everyone. There is a religious group that calls themselves God's Misfits. All of the members do not believe in the government and declare themselves sovereign citizens. They are radical extremists and proud of it. The butcher is TA's neighbor and friend and does not have inspections on the butcher shop by health department because he is sovereign. TA is extremely savvy and knowledgeable on the laws and loopholes. There seems to be a very dark path of manipulation, chaos, and devastation that hangs around this entire group of people. P.S. The butcher is related to the sheriff in Elkhart. Wow. Now, again, could be a bunch of BS. But something tells me there might be some truth to this. About the dynamics of certain individuals around that. And I think people around here that are probably in the chat that are from the area can agree. And if I'm wrong and you know, share. Because we want to get some insight. We want to get some insight about what is going on. There is a court case. Wrangler Cole Rickman had his own legal problems. This is in the district court in Cimarron. Is it called Cimarron County, state of Oklahoma? I was able to get the court record here. And this was when he had, apparently he had, the defendant shall report to a treatment facility for successful completion of not less than 6 months inpatient alcohol abuse treatment program. This was filed on March 25th, 2024. So he was sentenced to 6 months in treatment, some sort of rehab. Now they vanished on the 30th. So people are saying Wrangler Cole Rickman was in rehab, but was he or was he not? What do you think? What do you think? Somebody said the butcher is related to the sheriff. Yeah, the butcher is apparently a neighbor of Tifany Adams. That's the way I'm saying. Who's the butcher? The butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. And here's legal filing. These things are public. Well, actually, they sealed the case now. But it's Wrangler Cole Rickman versus Veronica Claire Butler. And this listed, it says Jilian Kelley. It's actually Jilian Kelley as a chaperone. So, yeah. What is going on here in the panhandle of Oklahoma? I appreciate you all watching. That's really all the information I have thus far. What do we do from here, folks? Do we just let the investigation play out? Will they do grid searches? Searches around? Women are out there somewhere. And God forbid I hear pig farms. Pig farms. That kind of scares me. Remote areas. But it's a place where you probably won't get pulled over for anything because probably sheriffs stay out of the way. Some places are just off limits in this country. In the United States of America, there are rural spots where you'll never see sheriffs unless someone calls 911. And when someone does call 911, the sheriffs might get there 2, 3, 4 hours later. Apparently, with this situation, authorities arrived quickly to find this car, the vehicle they were traveling in, with evidence of foul play. It's kind of scary. And if it's true that Tifany Adams and her residence there, and we're also we're hearing that a significant other to Tifany has a wild criminal history of arson and very violent charges. If it's true that they could have their house booby-trapped or bombs put over the property or something like that, that's wild. Authorities got to be mindful of that because I don't want to hear that authorities were zooming in on arrest and get hurt themselves. Would there be a lot of local corruption going on when it comes to this? It's kind of good to see that the Oklahoma Bureau of Investigation, the higher up, that's pretty much the top echelon of law enforcement in that state, involved with this, opposed to just local sheriffs. Because sometimes local sheriffs know certain people there, and certain people know the sheriffs, and sheriffs kind of turn a blind eye on things. Local corruption. Maybe the FBI should be getting involved in this case. You know, I think technically maybe the FBI could get involved because we're dealing with two people that vanished over interstate lines. You start out in Kansas, you go into Oklahoma. Why wouldn't this be a Fed crime? The FBI is not scared of sovereign citizens like that. They prosecute them all the time. Look it up. It's funny, dude. These people, these sovereign citizens that go and get indicted or get arrested, and they go into court and they just ramble off their UCC garbage. Judges hammer them. We don't want an attorney. We'll represent ourselves. You have no jurisdiction. Look at that gold fringe flag in back of the court. This is air maritime jurisdiction. The United States is not. It's a corporation, and you're using my capitalization of my name. I'm flesh and blood Engling this. It's just a bunch of garbage. It's a bunch of garbage. You ever see that UCC stuff? Darrell Brooks. There you go. Linda. Darrell Brooks is a prime example. Darrell Brooks. He tried to go that route. Didn't go well for Darrell Brooks. Right? Didn't go well for Darrell Brooks. Yeah, he tried that stuff. They use these books called Crack in the Code and Redemption. No, for real. When I was in prison, these sovereign citizen nuts. Now they're nice. They're nice. I met some nice people, like generally nice people. I don't think they went to prison because they're bad people per se. They just didn't want to pay their taxes, and they had a bunch of firearms in their house. I'm talking about the Montana Freemen. One of them in particular, his name was Dale Jacoby. Dale Martin Jacoby. Nice guy, older man. I don't even know if he's still alive anymore. But they would sit in the law libraries all day and just put liens on people's houses. Or fire back at the prosecutor. UCC liens. Yes, GSP says sovereign citizen videos are funny. Yeah, they're funny when they were going to court. Matter of fact, there was just a girl, I think Law and Crime just put up a video just the other day of this girl, an African-American female that was in court for doing something to her children or whatever, and she played the UCC route. She played the sovereign citizen route. So go on Law and Crime. I think they put the court hearing. I think they even titled it Sovereign Citizen. Yeah, occasionally you get those wingnuts. Or sometimes when they get pulled over, they refuse to show their license and say, I can drive. I don't need a license. I don't need insurance. I'm a sovereign. Get away from me. And then they end up getting tasered and thrown out of the car. It never goes well for sovereign citizens. There were some wild ones, though. Remember the ones in Arkansas that got in a shootout with authorities? This is the same kind of, the Oklahoma City Timothy McVeigh people. They have their own compounds. This might be a compound situation, too. Loham City. They're nutter than a fruitcake, Georgie says. Yeah. But again, I knew some, and they were nice people. It's just they're dangerous. They're dangerous because it's like a cult, and they spread around this false thing that you could just get away with anything, and you're not under American laws, and it's just ridiculous. It's stupid. It doesn't make sense. It never makes sense. Harrison, Arkansas. That's what Phoebe, right? Phoebe says. Harrison, Arkansas. Yeah, there was a case. There was a shootout. I'm trying to think of other examples. I think the mass shooter in Dallas was part of that too, or the one in Shreveport, Louisiana, that did that mass shooting a few years back. He was part of that too. Sovereign citizen. And it's all races. It's all races that do. It's just a belief system. It's wow. A lot of people in all different races, creeds, cultures, and religions are part of this. I think the one was a Moor, a guy from Shreveport. I forget what his name was. Years back. It's been so many. So many. All right, JLR Investigates. Sub the channel, hit the notification button when more comes out of this. I might go out there, might not. I don't know. I'm kind of David Koresh, yeah, kind of Waco people. It's kind of like Waco people. I actually went to Waco, we did a report in front of Waco, about 6. There were nice people there, the Waco people, but man, they went in and everything was just anti Bill Clinton. If you go to Waco, you go to the Branch Davidian compound, they actually have like a museum there in their church, and go in there and it's just wild. Nice people, again, not saying people are nice, but it's kooky belief system for sure. All right, JLR Investigates. We'll talk soon. Praying for Veronica and Jilian. Praying for the families. It seems like none of them are speaking either, folks. The families, maybe they're scared. Maybe they're waiting for authorities. Maybe the authorities told them to shut up. I would be fearful too. This could be a dangerous operation if we go out there and film. It could be a dangerous one. I have that feeling. Maybe somebody out with a truck will row up on me. I don't know. We'll have to get the GoPros and the body cam and all that stuff and just protect ourselves. I don't even think there's internet out there. Praying. All right, we'll talk soon. Stay safe. JLR investigates.